Why women in their 30s are undateable according to men. So I've been doing my research on all the struggles in the dating world, changes in behaviours, why we're stuck in our 30s, still single and struggling to find anyone. So here's an article I found and I'll link it for you if you want to read it yourself. So, single women in their 30s are apparently leftovers. So in this article, a girl interviews her friend. So he's a so-called one percenter. So, you know, tall, loads of money, really good looking. And he says he can't find a woman worth marrying. When she asks him why women in their 30s are still single, he says, and there's more studies and research and men backing this up, that we're desperate, entitled and set in our ways. We're rushing before we age out of the dating market. And then he says, the other reasons that we're undateable is because we're too independent, too career focused, we've got baggage from past relationships, we're too picky, and we've got that biological clock pressure. That one's true.
You can see the fear and nervousness in her eye. She really is doing research trying to figure this thing out. You can tell the reality of this woman hitting the wall is written all over her face.
So basically being self-sufficient, knowing what you want and not tolerating red flags makes us intimidating and not attractive. But we're not undesirable, unattractive, undateable. But we're not single because we're unattractive or undesirable. But because we spend our 20s and even our 30s doing things that matter. So building a career, maybe setting up our own business, maybe healing from terrible past relationships, trauma, or maybe we're just like spending time on our own, learning and figuring out who we really were. I spent 10 years of my 20s completely single, and it was the best time of my life because I got to know who I really was before I introduced myself to anyone else.
Guys, they really need to do a case study on when a woman says she had to go find herself, and not judging all women, but what some of these ladies mean by that is, I'm going to go out and build my career and I'm going to sleep around too. So I wish they would define more when they say things like, I took my 20s to go explore and find myself. A lot of men are looking for traditional women who already know who they are. Like, what are you searching for?
But that doesn't mean that we're masculine, unattractive. It doesn't mean that we should have missed the boat. And it definitely doesn't mean that we're leftovers. But we have to be honest, some women in their 30s, and I confess I would have been like this too, have become rigid or maybe difficult. What this research is saying is that women in their 30s have become single and undateable because we're rigid, difficult, carrying extra emotional baggage, and then projecting that onto every date. And they're saying that that's not about age, it's about emotional maturity. And maybe for some women that is the case, but I know for myself and all my friends, all of us in our 30s actually are dateable. We're not undateable, we're unwilling to settle, and we've done the work. And we're looking for a man that's done the same because we want depth, honesty, connection, emotional maturity. And that is not too much to ask for. That's just not what some men are willing or capable or able to meet. So make sure that you're not lowering your standards to be dateable, and make sure you're leveling up your energy. And then those who can't match it are disqualified. So what do we think about that research on why women in their 30s are undateable according to men?
So
Goddamn Z over here talking to himself. Of course I was. Of course I was. Of course I was. My apologies, y'all. Um, and shout out to Dating Right. Once again, fair use. I put up the fair use earlier. Fair use. Right. Um, yeah. So shout out to Dating Right. Fair use once again. Um, so I want to stress this to the young lady, and shout out to the West, and shout out to white women and black women in the West. It's not up to you, right? It's not up to you. Sorry, ladies, it's not up to you. It's not up to you. You can set your price. You can have your self-esteem. You can have your pride. You can have your ego. You can have your self-worth. You can have your sense of self. That's all cool. But when you come out here in the dating world, it's not up to you. You're on the shelf. This is going to come off crass, and that's okay. You're on the shelf, and the men get to decide. And vice versa, by the way, ladies. Huh? Shout out to all the women. We're not going to settle. We're not going to settle. We don't want 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 to settle. I don't want to settle. I'm afraid of settling. What it really is women, and this is a human thing. Women, on the other hand, women are deathly afraid that they're going to quote unquote settle and get their heart broken by the one that they settle for. You're not even the one I wanted. You're not even the ideal. You're not even 6'5". You don't even got a you don't even got a 6 foot, I mean, excuse me, six pack. You don't even got 12 inches. You don't even make $250,000 plus a year, a millionaire. Um, and I settled for you, and you broke my heart still. Off with his head. Ladies, this is how life works. Huh? All that talk of I'm so scared. I don't want to settle. I don't want to. Don't settle. Stay single indefinitely. Why you still sneaky linking? Let's be very clear. For most of you women, the vast majority of you are still sneaky linking though. You still doing your thing, right? Some of you are quote unquote celibate, but most of you are still out here. The vast majority. But ma'am, if you don't want to settle in a relationship, that's cool. Who told you you had to? Stay single then. Racking up body count and then trying to dictate to the men that they shouldn't care. Have fun with that. Huh? Have fun with that. And shout out to all the women who call into Kendra G. And when she asks, "When was the last time you've been intimate?" and their answer is 2 months ago, but she's been single for 5 years. Okay. All right. And let's be clear. When she say 2 months ago, what she really meant like 2 hours ago? Shout out to all the women who call into Kendra G, and when she asks them, "When was the last time you've been intimate?" and they say 2 weeks ago, and she's been single for 4 years, 3 years. Huh? Yikes. Ladies, you have your autonomy, you have your power, you have your pride, you have your ego. Unfortunately for you, you live on a planet where the men decide who we find attractive and what qualities we find appealing and attractive and that we value. And you can't dictate to us what those are. Oh boy. Ah, huh? Not only can you not dictate to us what those are, all those FD signifier type of men, whether they're white or black, can't dictate to the masses of us either. Although they are trying, and it's failing, and it's going to continue to fail. Huh? Yikes. Huh? And Dr. D says they never mention their sharply declining fertility or sharply declining looks. So the lady, this lady, I guess Irish accent, white lady, she does make mention of like, the fertility. She makes like a little blink and you'll miss it kind of comment about the fertility thing and whatnot. And yes, ma'am, yes, right. I'm not gonna settle. I want to settle and the fertility and I want kids, but I waited until I was like 47. Oh, okay. I wanted to cover that particular clip. Once again, shout out to Dating Right. And there's a couple of other people that have covered that to stress that the ladies really don't want to sit with the fact that the men make the choices. We decide if you're undateable. We decide that when we leave your ass on the shelf, right? We decide whether you're marriageable or not. When we leave your ass on the shelf, that's not up to you. Now, a man could propose and you could say no, but wait for it. He has to propose first, unless you're going to propose. And let's be honest, most women don't got the ovaries. Huh? Most women don't have the ovaries. Y'all want to keep your tradition, cool. Then that means the men propose. That means the men decide who stays on the shelf indefinitely or not. Huh? The men decide. Huh? And talking about settling, let me play this little clip while I can real quick.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to date someone that's below me. Facts. I don't. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's okay. And I think that's something that's pushed on Black women a lot. Yes, it is. To date under. And I think we always operate in extremes. Yeah. It doesn't have to be extreme. Just because I'm not gonna date a McDonald's worker doesn't mean that I have to date a CEO. Before I say what I'm about to say, I want you to understand.
And I'm gonna play the full version of that. Shout out to that brother. I never got his name, right? Shout out to that brother, right? But yeah, so the death fear of I don't want to settle. Black men make more than Black women. Are you still there? I'm still there. Yeah, Black men make more than Black women. On average, Black men make more than Black. Okay, all right. We don't got to keep on stressing that, right? But I'm so afraid of settling. I don't want to settle. Really, you don't want to be embarrassed by your homegirls who's gonna be talking crap because you used to pop all that crap, and now you're with a man that you actually like. Hopefully, you like. And then, oh, that ain't what she said she would do. She was talking about 6'5" dudes and chiseled chin and Benzes and a house in the burbs with the gated community around the white folks and that's the guy that she's with. Dear ladies, you don't have to settle. Okay, thank you. And I'm Waffle says name is John Cannon. Okay, thank you. And shout out to that brother, right? You don't have to settle, dear ladies. You do not, especially Black women. And it's always pushed on Black women. Black women swear to God, the whole world is out to make them settle for loser ass Black men. Ma'am, you don't have to settle for loser ass Black men. Stay single indefinitely, or go be the sexual plaything for some white man or non-Black man. Black women swear that everyone in the world is trying to force them to settle for bum-ass Black men. No, ma'am. You can stay single indefinitely or go be the sexual plaything for one of your non-Black co-workers or go engage in same-sex loving relationships. We don't owe you anything. And y'all give you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Okay, we're back. But yeah, no, we don't owe you that. Imagine the group of people that are seen as the most aggressive, mean, spiteful, argumentative, combative, coarse, right? Sassy, smug, turn around and tell you they don't want to settle. Man, oh, okay. How that marriage rate looking? Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, fine. You're not trying to get married. Cool. How's that dating rate looking? Oh, well, right. Talking about they don't want to settle. Not the smug, mean, condescending, rude assholes talking about they don't want to settle. Always, I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle. Wait, what's black women income again? What's the median income for black women? What's that marriage rate look like? Settle? Like everything that's not the delusion is settling. Every black man in particular that is not the delusion is settling. It's always settling. This is a women thing, particularly a black woman thing. It's all, he didn't meet my delusion, so I guess I settled for him. There's a cost to that, ladies. There is definitely a cost to that. Right? There is definitely a cost to that. I don't want to settle. It's always settling. I'm settling. Why are black women always told to settle? Huh? White women aren't told to settle. It's always the same thing. Dear black women, you live in a country that's supposedly multicultural. That's kind of iffy, but yeah, supposedly multicultural and a melting pot and all that other good stuff. Go end up with one of these non-black dudes and leave black men alone. If you could get them, that is. Huh? It's always the black women are always told to settle. Non-black women aren't told to settle.
My thing is, like, I don't understand the obsession with trying to make black women settle so much. Y'all don't do this with any other community. Like, seriously. Y'all don't do this with any other community. Do y'all tell white women that they should settle? Because last time I checked, anytime a white girl marries a black man, it's always when he's at his best and when he's rich as hell. You think Kim Kardashian was going to marry Kanye while he was broke and didn't have any money? You think Kanye would have had a chance with Kim then? Or you think Kanye had a chance with Kim when he was a multi-million-dollar rapper? Let's be real. Like, y'all don't say this to any other group but us. We're tired of settling. We're tired.
Yeah, meanwhile, the white woman.
Why women in their 30s are undateable, according to men. So I've been doing my research on all the struggles in the dating world, changes in behaviours, why we're stuck in our 30s, still single and struggling to find anyone. So here's an article I found and I'll link it for you if you want to read it yourself. So, single women in their 30s are apparently leftovers. So in this article, a girl interviews her friend. So he's a so-called one percenter. So, you know, tall, loads of money, really good looking. And he says he can't find a woman worth marrying. When she asks him why women in their 30s are still single, he says, and there's more studies and research and men backing this up, that we're desperate, entitled and set in our ways. We're rushing before we age out of the dating market. And then he says, the other reasons that we're undateable is because we're too independent, too career focused, we've got baggage from past relationships, we're too picky, and we've got that biological clock pressure. That one's true.
You can see the fear and nervousness in her eyes. She really is doing research trying to figure this thing out. You can tell the reality of this woman hitting the wall is written all over her face.
So basically being self-sufficient, knowing what you want and not tolerating red flags makes us intimidating and not attractive. But we're not undesirable, unattractive, undateable. But we're not single because we're unattractive or undesirable. But because we spend our 20s and even our 30s doing things that matter. So building a career, maybe setting up our own business, maybe healing from terrible past relationships, trauma, or maybe we're just like spending time on our own, learning and figuring out who we really were. I spent 10 years of my 20s completely single, and it was the best time of my life because I got to know who I really was before I introduced myself to anyone else.
Guys, they really need to do a case study on when a woman says she had to go find herself, and not judging all women, but what some of these ladies mean by that is, I'm going to go out and build my career and I'm going to sleep around too. So I wish they would define more when they say things like, I took my 20s to go explore and find myself. A lot of men are looking for traditional women who already know who they are. Like, what are you searching for?
But that doesn't mean that we're masculine, unattractive. It doesn't mean that we should have missed the boat. And it definitely doesn't mean that we're leftovers. But we have to be honest, some women in their 30s, and I confess I would have been like this too, have become rigid or maybe difficult. What this research is saying is that women in their 30s have become single and undateable because we're rigid, difficult, carrying extra emotional baggage, and then projecting that onto every date. And they're saying that that's not about age, it's about emotional maturity. And maybe for some women that is the case, but I know for myself and all my friends, all of us in our 30s actually are dateable. We're not undateable, we're unwilling to settle, and we've done the work.
And that's what Mr. Z was waiting for, right there. We're unwilling to settle. We're unwilling to settle, of course. And there we go, right? And there we go. Dear black women are always told to settle. White women aren't told to settle. What is the white woman just said? What did the white woman just say? Huh? Anything that's not y'all delusion is settling. Y'all come out here in your late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, and okay. I've stretched the club scene as far as I can go. I've gone as high up as I can go in my career. I've done all the things that matter. Yes, I caught what she said, and that's why I highlighted it. Shout out to Metro, and he says, ish that matters to you. Exactly. So you did all the other things that matter, and you weren't hyper focused on a relationship and marriage and children. Nothing wrong with that. But we're here now. Imagine telling a man, oh, I focused on all the other things that matter, all the things that matter, outside of you. Yikes. Imagine telling a man, I focused on the things that matter, and now you're meeting me at 48 years old, and I'm ready now. Oh, well, women have a funny way of telling men, oh yeah, you're on the back burner. Huh? Shout out to Kim Foster, right? She told you straight up, my man, no, my friends come first, so women come first, black women come first. Shout out to you, player. Huh? Women will look you in the face and say, yeah, I just want you to know you're like fourth most important thing on my list, fifth, 12th most important thing on my list. Huh? It's my kids from a previous relationship. It's my friends. It's my mom. Huh? It's my boss who I'm secretly piping. Oops. Huh? Wow. Yeah. Exactly. Ish that matters to you, ma'am. You spent your 20s and you other things that matter. Nothing wrong with that. Ladies, there's a cost to these things. Y'all notice what Z says. There's nothing wrong with that. You mapped out your life. You chose to focus on other things, but you're here now. You're here now. Ladies, you can go experience life, go do your thing, but there's a cost to that. Dear black women, you don't want to settle. Everything that's not the delusion is settling. Now y'all think y'all saying something by saying, oh, I'm not looking for a millionaire. Y'all think y'all saying something because all the even more delusional women may just say, okay, you know what? Yeah, she do sound crazy. I'm not her. I'm not going all the way over there. Right? I don't want a Walmart worker, but I'm not saying I got to be with a millionaire CEO either. Y'all think y'all saying something by saying that? Huh? That's what it looks like to be reasonable? Okay, yeah, that's it. That they think that's reasonable. All right, Scarlet Witch. For everyone that's on a movie. For everyone that's on the movie. Right? This is me being reasonable. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? They think that's being reasonable, everyone. Huh? And then, and shout out to Accountable Commentary. I'm gonna link the full videos of everything I'm saying, but Mr. Z was kind of pressed on time, and this stream probably won't go on too long today. So, but yeah, shout out to Accountable Commentary because I made reference to this the other day, but I was not able to play it. So let's play it now.
Like this, I feel like it is hard because I wish I was given the chance to show how dedicated I am to this position because I love it, and I get that there can be a miscommunication, especially being remote. But I mean, I've loved my job. I've represented to the best of my ability. I have so many great relationships within the Walmarts in Dallas, and I know that'll be hard that they won't see my face because, you know, I text them, I call them, we're really cool. And I feel like moving forward for the other people on the team, I think they deserve some one-on-one meetings and maybe more expectations set so that they don't overthink and they feel more comfortable within their position.
Like Mom said, I appreciate all you've done, and we'll have to probably end the call here, but please reach out to Amanda, probably is your best contact going forward for any of that information, and she'll probably send over a note to you later today with kind of all the details. So, thanks, Kat.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That's not the only one. There's another one. I just didn't have time to clip that one out too, with a more heavy set sister crying. Look, man, hey, the world is real. That doesn't mean that if you were with a man, you wouldn't still feel that unemployment. It would have been a whole different ball game, though. Huh? Ah, huh? You gotta hold back the tears while you still, while you're telling them, hey, by the way, you know, you might want to give people a little bit more warning, and then you might present it a little bit better, and you're holding back the tears. And the second you press off or they press off, flood. That hurt. That hurts. Huh? Ladies are out here, black women in particular, but these women are out here running out. Y'all are running around. Why did y'all not hear what Tim Gurner said a year ago? Y'all forgot the Australian developer guy. We need more paint in the market. Y'all forgot what's his name? Summers, Larry Summers, said 2 years ago about raising unemployment to combat inflation. Y'all didn't hear what Elon said in what was it, October or November of last year, 2024? You know, we're going to go through a transition period, and that means he said something like that necessarily means there's going to be a little adjustment or pain or whatever he said, whatever euphemisms he said to essentially say, oh yeah, y'all going to feel it. Dear women, what you thought? Oh, I forgot. Y'all are too busy calling the average man sexist instead of elite rich white men. And then they're the ones who's cutting y'all heads off. They're the ones who's pushing y'all into unemployment, which is a very calculated choice on their part. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Better You. Elon said there's going to be short-term pain. Yikes. All of these are white men. Show me all the black men saying, yeah, we going to just push all these women onto unemployment. These are all, dear women of color in particular, these are the white guys that you keep on comparing us to? You know, all the white guys that you keep on comparing us to? That you keep on saying that when you compare us to them, we're lacking? Yeah, those guys. The Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos that got his employees peeing in bottles so they could deliver the packages on time. They don't even got time to stop and use the restroom, so they're peeing in bottles in the back of the truck. Right? They're urinating in bottles in the back of the truck. Yeah, those are the guys, the billionaire and millionaire guys that you keep on comparing black men to, and you deem black men lacking. Those guys. Elon, Tim Gurner, Larry Summers, Jeff Bezos. Yeah, those guys. Uh-huh. What happened? Talk about what happened. And let's read this one now. And Vince's hashtag, what happened? What happened? Exactly. Huh? You see me in Destro says Z and his austerity prawn, right? We could go through a list of these guys. Talking greasy for years, decades, right? And we're here now. Huh? What's the Ayn Rand book again? It's right there. It's right there. I can't think of the name of the damn book. I mention the book like once a month at least. What's the name of the goddamn Ayn Rand book? Not Fountainhead. What's the other one? God, it's slipping my mind. Atlas Shrugged. Thank you, better you. All these people got Atlas Shrugged fantasies, huh? All these people have Atlas Shrugged fantasies. All these elite, rich, white lose. Well, I want to call them losers, but actually they're winning. Well, they're still losers. We're gonna go in it anyway, huh? Thank you, Raw. Yeah, Atlas Shrugged. All these folks have Atlas Shrugged fantasies. We know that. How many black women know that? Maybe Olay gets it. I think she does. Kim Foster gets it. Juicy gets it. The rest of them, I don't know, huh? Yikes. Larry Summers, Tim Gurner, and he's Australian, huh? Elon Musk, South African, now American. They all said it. Once again, hashtag what happened, ladies. Now y'all crying all over our goddamn internet. Huh? And I agree. Once again, as Accountable Commentary said, we're not celebrating this. We're saying what we told you. Mr. Z said what? How long ago did what's his name put out that think piece on Did It Now about Russia? I've been making reference. I gotta review it eventually, or at least cut out that part so that y'all can hear it. The status quoism of quote unquote progress. Dear ladies, black women in particular, y'all thought this train would continue in this direction indefinitely, and there would be no hiccups. There would be nothing. There would be no derail. There would be none of that. We just gonna keep on going in this direction. You could keep on giving black men the middle finger. I don't need no man, or I'm not gonna settle if I can't have these elite men. Hey, huh? Giving men, particularly black men, your ass to kiss, being rude, dismissive, minimizing, snarky, smug. And I'm not saying that young lady I just played is that we don't know her. With that, we're here now, huh? Yikes. Jamie Dimon is another slime ball, huh? Jamie Dimon told Anand Girgadas when Anand Girgadas interviewed him, talking to him about Winner Takes All, the book. And if, this is according to Anand Girgadas. Indian cat, y'all have seen him on MSNBC, whatever. He got the weird combed hair, looking like Jimmy Neutron combed ass hair. But Anand Girgadas, according to him, and he said this in multiple interviews, he was talking to Jamie Dimon about the whole peanut bottles Jeff Bezos thing, and Jamie Dimon essentially said, "Yo, these people don't want to work. We have to force them to do these things." Type. I'm paraphrasing, but essentially that. So going to what Decon said, yeah, Jamie Dimon, another one. Put him on the list, huh? Right? Put him on the list. These are the slides. dear black women, you realize you were comparing us to these guys? Black women, these are one homegirl said, it's always black women. Y'all tell black women to settle. Y'all don't do that to any other race. Ma'am, you realize you're comparing us to those guys. Shout out to black women and other women, all the women around the planet who want to marry the absolute worst mobster slime balls on the face of the earth and then think you don't got blood on your hands too. Huh? Y'all marry the dictators. Y'all have their kids. Y'all marry the kings. Y'all have their kids. The murderers. Huh? Oh, I forgot it's legal, so it don't count. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Young Miami not the only one begging Diddy to be her boyfriend. All these chicks are like that. They don't care how you make the money and provide them with the lifestyle. Just make the money and provide them with the lifestyle. White, black, Latina, Asian, around the globe, indigenous, they don't care. Shout out to women, the fairer sex, fair wear. Robin. Huh? No, men, we have, dear black manosphere in specific, but manosphere, we got it right. They wait at the finish line. They don't care who crossed the finish line. They wait at the finish line. Their moral compass, what moral compass? Huh? Bill Gates slime ball had his wife sign the contract for him to have a side chick. What that mean? Nothing. Huh? Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook rating women super harshly. Whole nerd, loser, lizard looking ass nerd. You know those damn there clear looking lizards that be at your light, the porch light in the front. Mark Zuckerberg pretty much looking like that. What that mean? His Asian wife said, I don't care. I'll go. Huh? I'll do it. The fairer sex. Get out of here. Huh? The fairer sex. Because they think they don't have blood on their hands because they're not the ones who literally pull the trigger. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Shook to you. Cough, cough. The false sense of moral superiority. That's women. There ain't no better way to describe women on planet Earth. Huh? Bernie Madoff's wife, anyone? I didn't know. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Hillary Clinton, anyone? Oops, ooh, goddamn, Z, you're not supposed to be saying that out loud. Hey, Z, you know they be making people disappear. You right. Huh? Yikes. Continuing.
Black men are incredible. Like, who wouldn't want to be with a black man? So I don't blame them. Like, I feel like the black man has everything that every other man desires.
I feel like
we need to hear that shit more.
Yeah, it's real.
Because if you can sit here and tell us niggas ain't shit 30 times a day.
Oh, I don't say that.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying
yeah.
any app or social media that you pick up and you can see that they tearing us
I
down.
think black men are incredible, and we have to do better as women to lift you guys up because. Again, you guys you have everything. You have the flavor, the swag, and all of the stuff that every woman would desire and every man wishes they had. Yeah. So, I love y'all. I will never stop loving black men. And thank you again for coming on, Carlos.
Carlos is red pill like a mug. Every time I see him, he be giving women that work. I will say that. Carlos is red pill. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a couple of videos of him pandering just to kind of get the heat off of him. But every time you see Carlos, he be saying some red pill stuff. I will give him that. I will give Carlos that. Right? With that, homegirl light skin, we know her from the other podcast. Yeah, but she light skin. You the preference, ma'am. You're the preference. Other black women, darker skinned black women, they're like, of course you think that black men are all because she the preference. Ain't that right, Chrissy? Chrissy would look at her and be like, "She's a preference. Of course she does." She's light skinned and mixed, so of course you think black men. They damn near want to kick women like this out of black. You're not black. So shout out to her for saying that. We didn't see her go to war with what's his name on the other podcast about things concerning black men and black women. So don't let that particular clip fool you guys. With that, ma'am, you are a light-skinned mixed black woman. Other black women looking at you. Of course you had good experiences with black men, and of course you think that's why I get to. Oh man, those women be in the corner seething, angry as hell. Z, you gonna remind them how those women sound?
Men in Germany are treated way differently than black women in Germany. Black men are appreciated in Germany. Black men are put in a cultural sense, in a societal sense, you are seen as interesting, whereas black women are seen as lesser.
An experience,
a novelty in which you can approach voyeuristically, and it's dehumanizing. I was a member at Soho House, and I remember seeing a black man sitting there, and there was all these white women around him glorifying him, gawking at the fact that he was existing. And I think black men need to acknowledge that their lived experience in Germany is disproportional to that of a black woman in Germany.
And all that was is one of y'all favorite clips. What she really saying is,
fair. That's not fair. That is not fair.
All that long-winded way of saying,
fair. That's not fair. That is not fair.
How is it that he gets to be seen and I don't get to be seen? We're both black. Actually, I'm more black than him. Okay, ladies, we hear you. We hear you. We hear you. All right. We hear you. All right. And actually, let me read this. As part two, let me read this first from Gregory Scotland. And Gregory Scotland says, and thank you for being here. And Gregory Scotland says, "Hey Z, have you seen Tyler Perry's latest Netflix Straw, quote unquote Straw?" So that's the name of the Netflix. Is it a movie or a series? So clearly, I'm telling you, I haven't seen it. So that's on my itinerary to watch. And Black Guru gave me something to watch too. So I already told Miss Z, so we don't have to go through it. And he says, apparently it is another sorry black woman story. Dr. Thunder is right. Black women have very poor marketing. So from my understanding, I've watched a couple of videos of women who did black women who did a light review of it, and they weren't happy because in their minds there's always some struggle story type thing with Tyler Perry, and I would tend to agree with them on that. With that said, I don't want us to go too far where we're so, and I think this is what has distorted our minds is our appetite. To me, and this is what I was getting at the other day when I was saying a balance of different television shows for different classes of black people without necessarily celebrating poor black people, or just for the sake of being poor is what I'm saying, or working class, working poor, lower middle class black people just for the sake of that. There is something to be said for the fact that is the masses of black people's current socioeconomic condition and position, right? So no, Gregory Scotland, I haven't watched it, but it seems like you're sending me on a homework mission. So that's on the list of things to watch, right? But with that, I'm careful on black people in the anti-slavery movies, because if you look at the Small Hats throw a Holocaust movie in your face like 2, 3, goddamn 18 billion times a year. They're gonna make sure you ain't never gonna forget ever as they slaughter people in that little section of Europe that they have in the Middle East. Oops, Z, stop it, Z. So with that, but they're gonna make sure you know what transpired with them in Europe, you know, in the 30s and 40s, the 1930s and 40s. So yeah, I want black people to be careful with the. I'm tired of seeing slave movies. I'm tired of seeing struggle movies. I'm tired of seeing da. You don't want Americans to forget. And let's be very clear: a lot of non-black folks want to forget, and frighteningly enough, some black people want America to forget. I don't know about that. Right? So, Gregory Scott, I know this is a long-winded way of saying no, I haven't seen it yet, but no, I haven't seen it yet. So that's on the list. That's on the list, right? Yeah, and I'm gonna come back to you, Inspired Truth, and Els Active says SB Harris titled found that historically, um, reigning queens, I think you meant to say reigning queens, were more likely to practice in wars than kings. Fairer sex, they say. Exactly. So I'm not surprised by that at all. I think there's something to be said about women feeling that they have to prove themselves even more than the men when they're in positions of leadership. And how that goes about, whether it's Golda Meir, whether it's what's her name out of Britain. Goddamn, it's right there. Not Theresa May. I say her name all the time. What the hell? Z, what the hell is going on with you today? No, the prime minister when Reagan was in office. What the hell? What's her name again? Goddamn, Z, you over here you messing up, Z. Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher. Haha, Z, got to remember before y'all said it. Margaret Thatcher. Yeah, all of these leaders. Homegirl that's in Mexico right now. That be going back and forth with Donald Trump. So yeah, there. I think there's something to be said about that. With that, women are human beings, and like just because women don't engage in violence the same way men do, does not mean that they're pure of heart. Like we literally saw a woman who was cheating on her husband with a football player who was getting violent with the football player because he had other side chicks. Let's be very clear what we're saying here. A woman who was cheating on her husband found out that the man she was cheating on her husband with had other women, and she proceeded to get violent. He physically restrained her and put her out of his house. That woman who was cheating on her husband with said man then sent her brother and other men to go physically assault, harm, or delete the man she was cheating on her husband with. We literally just watched that. So it's not that women are any quote unquote less violent. They practice violence differently. Proxy violence is the name of the game for women. Send-off missions. Hyping this man up to go harm that man. That's what black women do. That's what white women do. That's what Latina women do. That's what Asian women do. That's what women do. Weaponizing their tears to have a man or just general society harm another man for them. White women, when they didn't get their way with black men, either lying about some type of encounter that did not happen or lying about the encounter that did happen. Huh? So yes, and once again, Els Active, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, the violence, women just they're violent in different ways. If women want to expand the understanding of violence, then fine, we'll do it. But ladies, I'm almost certain that not even almost. I'm certain you don't actually want to expand our understanding of violence, because if we do that, appreciate that what will also be considered violence is verbal abuse. And ladies, do you really want to have a conversation about who's more verbally abusive, men or women, particularly in the black community? Do y'all really want to go there? Black women, do you really want to have that conversation? Emotionally abusive? Black women, do you want to have a conversation about who's more emotionally abusive? Is that a conversation y'all really want to have? If y'all want to race to the bottom, I don't suggest it. And if we include the children too, oh man, y'all got the checkered flag on that one. Y'all have the checkered flag before we include the children. Y'all really got the checkered flag when we include children. Black children, emotionally abusive. Okay, yeah, that's it. Black women got the checkered flag when it comes to who's more verbally and emotionally abusive in the black community. And if you really want to talk about DV, once again, if we include the children, oh yeah, y'all got the checkered flag again. We know this because look at that DV rate, that assault rate for same-sex loving black women. Ooh, goddamn. Huh? So L's active. Thank you for the super chat once again. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't forget you. I didn't forget you, Brooklyn Finest. I didn't forget you. I didn't forget you. I didn't forget you. I did it. Huh? Kevin. And Kevin says German clip again, sir. I got you. I got you. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. There you go. There you go. Wait a minute. And I'll let
women in Germany are treated way differently than black women in Germany. Black men are appreciated in Germany. Black men are put in a cultural sense, in a societal sense, you are seen as interesting, whereas black women are seen as lesser.
An experience,
a novelty in which you can approach voyeuristically, and it's dehumanizing. I was a member at Soho House, and I remember seeing a black man sitting there, and there was all these white women around him glorifying him, gawking at the fact that he was existing. And I think black men need to acknowledge that their lived experience in Germany is disproportional to that of a black woman in Germany.
And once again, for you, Kev, here you go, here you go. Because what is she really saying, Kev? What is she really saying?
That's not fair. That is not fair! That is not fair!
Hey, I get it, y'all. I get it. You know, I get it. You know, as a under 6 feet tall brother, I get it. Look, Mr. Z is not in the hood anymore, but we ain't too far. We still got to get our beard taped up every once in a while, right? We still got to go back to the neighborhood every once in a while. We still got to go see Mama Z and Daddy Z every once in a while, and you know, we there, and we at the store or something like that, and the 6'3" tall chisel chin brothers come in, you know, with the tatted sleeves and whatnot. You see the ladies' heads look, but you know how Z don't feel. You know what isn't going through Z's mind?
That's not fair. That is not fair! That is not fair!
Oh, Z don't gotta go back in the car and then go punch the steering wheel. Huh? Man. Look, the reason is, shout out to that lady if she ever come up on this channel. Ma'am, I wanted to say we're not making fun of you, but lightweight we are. It's the response and what animates that, what fuels that energy, right? Mrs. E, how does that even make sense? Fuel is energy. With that, okay, right? What fuels that feeling? And what exactly would you want us to understand? And with black men understanding this, what exactly are we supposed to do with that understanding? Huh? I got you, Brooklyn Fine. I'm gonna read your super chat right now too. And Brooklyn Fine says, "Can we hear that's too damn bad?" Well, here you go. Here you go.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad!
I got another one for you, just because I'm reading your super chat late. I got another one for you.
Hey, yo, hey, niggas get shot every day, B. You be alright, nigga. You tough, right?
Shout out to Killer Cam. Man, she punching verbally. What you just saw verbally was her punching the air. Huh? I've said this before. Like I say these things, and like I think we we don't do a good enough job, I would argue, with really sitting down with what modernity did to our minds, right? What entering major cities, interacting with hundreds, thousands of people throughout your lifetime, being in classes with a couple dozen people, going to university, being in auditoriums with 100 people, right? The daily grind. What is it doing to our minds, especially the women's minds, when they're in spaces with other women who are seen as more attractive than them, more desirable than them, and are higher up on the hierarchy? What is it doing to a 12-year-old girl's mind? What is it doing to a 16-year-old girl's mind? What's it doing to a 21-year-old young woman's mind, right? What we do in our society, particularly in the West, is hyper focus on the boys and men and tell them to quote unquote level up. Go get your education, go to the gym, develop personality. These men, they don't have they lack personality, they don't have they're not likable. We tell the men to be likable, kiss women's ass and beat up on other men, and that's the way you're gonna be likable. Insult other men and be a good ally in that way. And we tell women, Z, you still there? No, Z's still here. We tell women, yeah, exactly. Huh? Yikes. Wow. Huh? So once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Kevin, and let's see. Let's go to Brooklyn's finest, because Brooklyn was like, "You left me, Z." And Brooklyn's finest says, "Black women, um, the fattest, the fattest, most baby mama, rudest, and amongst the brokest. Who is settling here, Keisha?" I don't know if you ever heard me say this, Brooklyn's finest. I've said this. Sarge Really Pete has expressed this also. In Black women's mind, and a handful of them on the fringes will admit this. Most wouldn't, or at least if you don't press them, they won't say it. If you press them, maybe they'll admit it. I would argue. Black men owe Black women forever. The reason why in their minds you're not settling for them is because you owe them. Wait for it, Brooklyn's finest. Because you have them on the same planet. Let's actually what? Because you have them in the same country, on the same planet, in the same solar system, in the same galaxy, in the same universe with white women. You, Brooklyn finest, Mr. Z, all of us in the chat who are Black men, all of us on planet Earth who are Black men, all Black women on planet Earth, particularly in the West, particularly the ones of them that ancestors went through this transatlantic slave trade. We all owe them, particularly, obviously, ADOS FBA. We all owe Black women. Not the white men, not the white women. Nope. We owe Black women, and I'm mainly talking about us, whether we're Haitian, Jamaican, ADOS, any type of Afro-Latino, etc., etc. We owe Black women for slavery. And so she can be fat and she could be rude, right? She could be baby mamaed. We owe her, and it's a debt that will never be paid because you did not win the race war. And you got her out here sitting in the cubicle next to Becky, and Becky keep on talking about how she don't need this job, and Keisha can't say the same. Keisha could say the same, but she know better. Low-key, Becky need a job too. But, right? Black men owe Black women forever. God forbid you live in a major city and Keisha got to see Becky pulling up in the G-Wagon She's livid. Every time she see Becky pull up in that GLS or that G-Wagon or that BMW X5M, right? She's livid. Huh? When she see Becky pull up in the Tesla Model X, she's livid. The Audi SQ8, she's livid. It's all SUVs, Z. I know, because we're talking about women right now. Yikes. This is what I'm saying. And Afro Merchant says we owe her reparations. This is what I'm saying. How many black women have the ovaries to say that overtly? Not that many. Press them, though. Press them. And they're going to pretty much say everything but that because it's that. Huh? Yikes. And Lion says, let's say we do, excuse me, let's say we do. So he's saying, let's say we do owe them. I'm not paying it back. Now what? Lion said, what you gonna do about it then? Huh? Kevin says, I identify as a debt-free black man. Kevin said, I don't owe you nothing. What's the brother name? Craig Facts. Craig. What did Craig Facts say? Get it in blood. Oh, get it from God? He said, get it from God or get it in blood? He says, get it from God. Huh? Lion says, you want me to play you want to pay what you owe, Santa? Do I still got it? I think it's still here. It is still here. Really? This is how black women are treating black men, for real. And good, you know, a good reference line, good reference. Huh? You gonna pay what you owe, Santa? Good reference. Huh? And finally, we get to Inspired Truth. And Inspired Truth says, and thank you for the super chat, isn't it funny how the same women who want to spend all their sexual capital and show up to you sex bankrupt don't owe you to show up financially, socially bankrupt? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, no, they want to show up however they want to show up, and then you got to deal with whatever. We talk about, you know, the women have weaponized therapy language. That's why I played the clip a couple of streams ago with the black female therapist talking about this. Women have weaponized. You know, we might. This is bigger than just therapy and the therapy language. Actually, let's back up. Let's look at this from a wider angle, from a wide range, a wide view. I think with the loss of religion, people are trying to find things, something greater than themselves, right, to believe in. And I think this therapy language and this worship of self and bettering yourself in the self-improvement language affects our relationships also. Because what it says is, essentially, I went to confessional, I said what all my sins were, right? I confessed all my sins, right? I have done the work, and that's why I've played the clip with the white woman that said, we've done the work, right? I've done the work, and now that I have exited the church, where's my man, right? So that's what the ladies are saying. I've done the work. So like bringing it into modern times, I went to school, I got my education, I'm doing as well as I can be financially, right? I can sustain myself, and that's not even true for most of them, but fine. I can sustain myself, maintain myself. So where is my other half? My lesser half that's paying more. Don't make no sense. I know. Stop trying to make it make sense, everyone. Stop trying to make it make sense. Right? And so it's the women see it as a personal slight on them. It's as if men are coming together, and to a certain extent it's actually true, but it's as if men are coming together and we're having like a man meeting that a man meeting where Men are saying, you know what? You know how we can hurt women? Muhahaha. You know how we can hurt them? By not elevating to their standards. Muhahaha. It's like, nah, we really not doing that. I mean, some of us are doing that, but we're really not doing that. There's something to be said about the loss of religion, would you want to say? And like, where do we put that energy? And I think the self-improvement talk, right, and the therapy talk is like replacing that, right? Particularly for women. And they don't have children. So you're dealing with a bunch of people who are like a rebel without a cause. And all of that energy got to go somewhere. So you remember, we're talking about 20 some odd, 30 some odd, 40 some odd, 50 some odd year old women with no children who may have never been married, right? Who have dedicated most of their time and energy to doing whatever the hell they want to do and to their career, right? So yeah, I would argue that many of these women are spiritually bankrupt. I would argue they're spiritually bankrupt. They say they're the fairer sex, but they worship at the altar of white capitalism. How the hell? You say you're the fairer sex. What do you have to say about black male degradation? Huh? Do you know anything about what's happening in that little slice of Europe they call, whatever, in the Middle East? That little slice of Europe in the Middle East. Y'all know what Mr. Z is saying. Huh? Do you know what's happening with the Uyghurs in China? You're supposed to be the fairer sex. Yikes. Huh? The Saudis and the Yemenis. Do you know anything about that? Huh? What do you have to say about it? Like, you're supposed to be the fairer sex. Right? Have you ever been to a soup kitchen? Mr. Z has. And when I say soup kitchen, I don't mean on the side where you're the one asking, panhandling, which, ladies, that's about to be you in a little bit, maybe, possibly. No, I'm saying giving out the food. Huh? Okay, fine. The majority of black women vote Democrat. Have you ever campaigned for anyone? Have you ever canvassed, knocked on doors? I'm not making I know some of my subscribers are independent or conservative. No, I'm just saying the majority of black women are Democrats. Have they ever actually did anything more than go to the polls and vote? If you believe in this candidate, you believe in this thing, did you ever canvass for them? Y'all supposed to be the fair sex. Huh? Have you even ever donated money to a cause? Your hard-earned money, maybe it's not so hard-earned, but your hard-earned money, supposed to be the fair sex. Yikes. I think they're spiritually bankrupt. Huh? To be fair, I think most people, particularly most women, are exactly what elite white men want and need them to be. Good little hyper consumers that's on the hamster wheel. That's all. Huh? That's why whenever I make reference to Morgan Stanley and that she economy, what do I say? The framing of that memo, they were salivating because they knew that should be some 45 at the time, at least. I think this came out in what 2017 or something like that. The framing of it was them salivating, not them saying, "Oh crap, so many women," and I'm not just black women, but women in America. So many women are going to be single. Oh boy, what are we going to do? No, 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 no. It was, oh, so many women in America are going to be single by 2030. Ooh, it's time to rack up. It's time to make money on their lonely single asses. Huh? And let me read this one right now. And Harambe says, and thank you for the super chat. They're liberated too long to be useful in the end. Oof. Well, shout out to Black Uru. Here go another Uruism quotable. They've been liberated into madness. They've been liberated into madness. Let none of us forget the Uruism of they've been liberated into madness. If that's not a quotable, you tell me what is. Huh? And Mr. Z is here for it. Popcorn and all. Someone cue up the meme with Michael Jackson sitting in the theater eating his popcorn, please. They've been liberated into madness. And y'all notice how Mr. Z talks? I'm not about shackling women. I'm not about making laws against them. Oh no, they can be as free as they want to be, and we don't got to do nothing for them. There is a cost to your negative liberty. Y'all like to call it freedom. There is a cost to your negative liberty, ladies. And you gonna eat every bit of it. Huh? Y'all notice Mr. Z don't talk about don't push for women to be barefoot and pregnant. I don't do any of that. No. If I call myself a leftist or a lefty or whatever, then I gotta stand on what I'm saying. No, I'm not about regulating none of it. You just gonna have to eat all of the consequences of your worldview. And so as automation and machine learning kick in, and what's his name already told us, he wrote the book on BS jobs. A lot of you ladies were just moving paper around. You didn't appreciate that. Well, so while you were making your $65,000 a year and you could afford your apartment and you had your entry-level luxury car and everything was straight, well, you could give black men the middle finger then, huh? While your white co-worker who you were sneaky linking with, oops, huh, was throwing you a couple of dollars here and there, you could give black men the middle finger then while you claim loyalty, oops. Black men are the most disloyal. Black women are too loyal. Ma'am, you just left your boss's office and you were in there for like an hour and a half. Was that a meeting or was that a meet? Z, stop. Z, stop. We're going to pause right there. We're going to pause right there. Anyway. Huh? So, yeah. Liberating to madness, Black Guru says. Definitely a quotable. And once again, Harambe, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Let me read this from Detroit. And Detroit says, take her ass to accountability department and make her pay up to, what's this? What's that, 45 trillion? Let me see. Wait a minute. So that's 100, that's 100, that's millions, that's billions, that's trillions. Is that zillions? I don't know what's after zillions. What's after zillions? Right? I don't even know what. Like 45 zillion. No, it can't be 45 zillion because I see where trillions is, and then there's zillions, but the 655. I think that's zillions, right? So what's after the 65? What's the 45? I don't even know. Right? Yikes. Quadrillion. Thank you, Detroit. And Detroit says, all right, now I can read it for real. And Detroit says, take her ass to accountability department and make her pay up to 45 quadrillion 655 zillion 788 trillion 789 billion 242 million 240,000 $257. God damn. Right? That's what I'm saying, Detro. And Detro says, I don't math that high. That's a good quote. I'm still in that. That's funny. I'm still in that. That's funny. That's funny. I don't math that high. That was funny. And he says, shout out to tariffs. Oh, man. I don't math that high. That's hysterical. And Brooklyn Finance says, my answer is Z, get the entire F out of my face. Because we own, hey, look, Brooklyn Finance, we own it, bro. Forever. God, hey, damn it, I took it off. The meme that from Sandlot that Lion sent me, the forever meme. I took that crap off already. God damn. Because that'd be a perfect time to play it. Forever. We owe them forever. That's what they said. Well, they didn't actually say that, but that's how they act because that's what it really is. Huh? Man, I'm telling you. But that's what it is for black women. We have them on the same planet with white women, and it ain't fair. So we owe them. Once again, Brooklyn Finance, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Els Actor says, check my link when you have time, Z. Becky blew the whistle on how they're training therapists, counselors to be sexual deviants. Need that Discord. Okay, give me a second. You said you put it in the, it's in the chat? Give me a second. Give me a second. Did I miss it? Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, I got it. I got it in the history. So I'll look into it and I'll listen. Y'all might be getting a second stream today or maybe tomorrow morning. Yeah, no, I'll check it out. And thank you, Els, for the super chat. But I've checked out this channel before. I want to say this is the same channel, or at least one of the women on that channel. Is she the one who interviewed Rebecca Traister? I want to say that, right? And I think that's the one where I kind of got annoyed because Rebecca Traister, it's fascinating listening to these women. That's why y'all have the anti-feminist professor right now, the white lady, and like they're telling other women, feminists, hey, I did what we're supposed to do, and I'm seriously unhappy, low-key miserable. I focused on career. I did my independent thing. I had reckless sex, reckless abandon. I lived life reckless abandon and all this other stuff. And now I'm on the other side of 40, 45, 50, whatever it is. And I realize what it cost me and I'm unhappy, right? I regret not having children. I regret not having a husband. I regret, or I do have a husband, or I do have a quote unquote partner, right? But I didn't meet him young. I can't have children, and although I might be accomplished, and that's for the ones that are, I feel like something's missing because something is, right? So I got annoyed when I saw that interview with Rebecca Traister and the other women were telling her like, yo, this, and low key, this is the thing that I think is another thing. This is what's really hurting a lot of these feminists, radical feminists, are other women talking that didn't get the memo that you're supposed to play coy. So the women that are doing well financially or are not doing well financially, that are looking for men to provide them a lifestyle, that's also hurting the argument. That's why you see FD Signifier trying to pivot now. That's why you saw the other brother that's trying to fill in for Derek Jackson, little skinny brother that was saying something along the lines of like, y'all just highlighted all the bad takes of women or black women. He said all the bad takes of black women. Like, no, brother, this is what it is. This is how they sound. This is what they're saying. This is how they act. Right. So yeah, I'll check it out and I'll come back. But yeah, training therapists, counselors to be sexual deviants that need okay, yeah, I need Discord link. I think I did it a little weird, so I'm gonna have to fix that, Els. So I'll try to have that Discord link for you guys in the next day or two. But yeah, and I said it. Who was I watching? Was it Real Talk with Yanni? It was either Real Talk with Yanni, Selkish Ray, or Chrissy. And someone in their comments said, yeah, I was talking to my therapist about my man and him doing this and him doing that. And these are all positive things. And her therapist, which was a black woman, said, oh, yeah, I know your husband can't be black. Like, I want you to be clear. Like, that is it. If she's telling the truth, assuming she's telling the truth, that's how therapists are talking? Huh? That's how the therapists are speaking. All right, then. And there's something to be said about the profit motive. If women are seeking therapy more than men are, just like the church, ooh, goddamn, see, if women are seeking therapy more than men, and we live we need money, we live in a capitalist society, are we to say that therapy is the one place that is not going to be touched by the profit motive? It's not going to be incentivized by women spending money to hear from therapists what they want to hear? Ooh. Yeah. So this is the one, y'all gonna say clients and no, customers. This is the one endeavor, the one entity that is not going to be swayed by its customer base. That's probably, I'm a guesstimate that anywhere between 60 to 75% of those who seek therapy or who are in therapy are women. So of course you have therapists, and the majority of therapists are women, if I'm not mistaken, right? So yeah. So I'll check that out. And I'll get back to you on that. Huh? Indigo says that's inappropriate as F. That's what the person said. That's what the lady said in the comments. This was a few years ago, right? Yep. And Detro says, remember that younger black woman therapist that was twerking on TikTok a few years ago? Or the one that went off on black men and then she got let go from her job and then we saw her like essentially shatter, right? Ah, right. Lion said, cue the violin. So I wanted to play those clips for you. I think I have one more that I did not play yet. Oh yeah, this one. Oh boy, y'all prepare yourselves.
Let's spin the block real quick. Y'all remember when I said that black women are the ones upholding the whole texturism and the issues in the natural hair community? It's not really black men, blah, we already know. There's this trend going on TikTok. You say you like your girls natural, right? And it's a bunch of black women showing their unkept natural hair. Take a look.
Say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry. You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry. You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry. You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry. You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry. You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry. You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry. You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going? I'm hungry.
And here's the issue. It's not the fact that you're natural. It's the fact that you're refusing to keep up with your natural hair. There is a difference between being natural and someone disliking natural hair and you going outside with your hair standing on the top of your head looking a 14-karat gold fool, looking like you do not care about yourself, like you don't care about your natural hair yourself, and people just being in disgust with it. Like you guys have to be honest. Like, take care of your natural hair. This isn't cute. And then we want to get upset when people associate black women with nappy hair or short hair. We want to scream, oh, black women can grow long hair too. But this is how we treat ourselves on social media, in public. Girl, like...
You know, I get it. Look, women are human beings. Black women are human beings. And we, as human beings, oftentimes, do things out of spite. We do things to shut people up. And listen to the audio. You said you like your bitches natural, right? Voila. I'm hungry. Where we going? Or whatever, however it goes. Yeah, out of spite. Right? Out of spite. Of course, out of spite. I think I look better with the silky press and the yaki and the long hair and the fake, the weave and the okay. You want me to wear my hair natural? Okay, fine. This is what it looked like natural. Okay, fine then. All right. Huh? Shout out to all the black women. I wear my hair natural, and the only ones who compliment me are white men. Black men black men don't talk to me when I wear my hair natural. Okay, and this is what they mean when they say black men don't compliment me or talk to me when I wear my hair natural. That's what they mean. My point exactly. And Afro National says intentionally being obtuse. Huh? To be frank, black women said you have no say in what we do. Black women, you are right. Black men have no say in what you do and how you perform and how you speak and how you present. And there's a consequence to that. Our sons are making themselves scarce. Oops. Our sons with a couple of dollars are getting their passports and getting the hell up out of here if they can't meet the women that they find attractive here and that are on their program here. They're getting their passports and they're going overseas. They're going to the continent. They're going to Latin America. They're going to East Asia. They're going to the Caribbean. You notice what Mr. Z didn't say? Europe. Most black men are not trying to check for white women like that. Uh-oh. Contrary to popular belief. Huh? If black men are telling you, hey, this is what we find attractive, this is what we want, and black women give black men the middle finger, well, there's a cost to that. There is a cost to that. Huh? Yikes. And meanwhile, while y'all doing that, talking about Detroit said Snow Bunny Apocalypse. Where's the let me see, Z, where'd you put it? As a matter of fact, let me play this because after seeing all of that, all I heard was lowered expectation. Huh? Yikes. So while y'all are doing all of that, the white women are out here sounding like this.
The black kings get divorced, and then what happens? They're like, F it. We're moving on. Snow bunnies are going to clean me right out. So the snow bunnies get on top of things, and they mix, and they have this beautiful baby, and the process continues. So I do find that black kings often go to black queens first, and then they're like, snow bunny time. They'll either divorce them, dump them, and then move on. swiftly move on. And they'll feel all cleansed, you know? Right. Anyway, on that note, do you like my nails? They're very Christmassy. It's almost Christmas. Divorce season's round the corner, which means snow bunnies warm in January. Yes.
And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat. Manzi, it's no bunny apocalypse out here. I'm seeing a lot of brothers dating out in Indianapolis. And there you go. Huh? I think there's a class element to that. Obviously, a racial element, that goes without saying. There's a class element to that. There's a femininity element to that. There is a idea of who can you talk to, who can you be a man around, who accepts your leadership. I said it the way I meant it. And your authority. Shout out to Detro. Your authority, right? Who respects your authority?
You respect my authority.
Notice what Z says. I am not about forcing black women to respect anything that black men is saying. Whatever black men are saying, black women don't have to adhere to any of it. What black men find attractive, black women don't have to adhere to any of it. What black men find appealing about comportment and attitude and demeanor, black women don't have to adhere to any of it. Black men will just go to places and find women, whether that's in the US, if that's stateside or not. Black men will find women who will. What you have now is an increasing amount of men writ large, black men specifically, who have decided that if I cannot find a woman that's going to adhere to what I'm saying, then I would rather be single. Dear women, you are not the only ones who can remove yourself from the market, from the dating market. Right? We know that because you have women who are observing that more and more men are removing themselves from the dating market.
I'm having dinner with my girl, and I want y'all to just notice something. There's women, all eating there. Women, all eating there. And let's not forget right there too, because they're everywhere. Oh my god. I don't normally go out, but when I do, I go out with my girls, and I am seeing something, a trend. Girls are all going out with their girlfriends. There's not like one date.
Huh? Black women, if you are seen as difficult, particularly to black men, shout out to all the black women who say, black men are intimidated, but these non-black men, white men are not intimidated. Okay, well, then go exercise that then. But if you are seen as domineering, if you are seen as aggressive, right, as overly sassy, smug, curt, rude, right, dismissive, minimizing, if that is how you are seen by a growing amount of black men, by a significant amount of black men, and a growing amount of black men, if that is how black women are seen, black women do not have to change that one iota. They don't have to work on that stereotype. I'm saying about black men, the way black men see black women, according to black women. Fine. You don't have to work at that at all. You don't have to fight that stereotype at all. Just deal with the consequences of black men who do see you that way. And what that necessarily entails is that black men are not going to try to dictate to you or force you, right? The vast majority of black men are not going to try to bring any type of physical harm to you or any of that. They're just going to make themselves ghost. Huh? They're just going to make themselves ghost. That way you don't have to worry about settling. Right? As a matter of fact, black men want the best for you. And we're hoping that non-black men see us fumbling and stumbling, and non-black men come and pick you up.
Mario, Jorge, Cartwright, Shang Tsung. We got a thrift store of leftover bitches. They're leftover because apparently it ain't enough niggas is worth a damn. Whatever. Point is they left over. We need you to come pick them up. No instruction manual. Figure it out. Sprinkle some white ice on it. Maybe, I've heard the white ice is colder. Sprinkle some white ice on it. It goes with everything. If you come within the next 24 hours, we'll give you a complimentary book on how to date black women for white men. That's a $4 value.
Huh? You know, black women and women in America in aggregate who are not aware of what a trade war with China means for the US, what having a new competitor since the fall of the Soviet Union means for the US, they're not really appreciative. They don't even appreciate how they can use this to their advantage because they're not even in the know, right? Because there are ways to challenge the US. The window just pretty much opened, but they're so busy trying to dictate to us, they don't really appreciate how to exploit this window that just opened. On the other side is a great power competition. Shout out to Mearsheimer, where the US no longer has the time, no longer has the loose resources, money, to just throw around for pet projects. This competition is going to need every breathing, thinking, moving being, particularly those of us who have traditionally been the producers, mainly the men, primarily the men. And I don't think women in aggregate in America, particularly black women, fully appreciate what that's going to mean for them and their position in this society, and what that is going to mean for men, particularly black men, and their position in this society. Huh? Yikes. And Detroit says bricks is the new standard. I put the in my community tab, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the kind of meter, the bar between the combined GDP of the BRICS nations and the combined GDP of, I want to say it includes the US if I'm not mistaken, but like the European Union, and I want to say the US, or at least the EU and the US combined. I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure. Or at least I haven't glanced at it in a while, but yeah. Huh? And so y'all are making these pronouncements. I'm speaking about the women, black women in particular, without fully appreciating the environment and how quick, and it's a human thing. I don't think we're really well at grasping how quick the environment is changing. And that includes us as men, black men, but I think, and particularly in the black manosphere, because we have essentially this think tank in the black manosphere that's called the black manosphere. We're not just talking about women all day, every day. We're able to speak about these things, you know, shout out to BGS, shout out to Art New Style, right? Where we're crowdsourcing, right? Like we're this think tank is bringing in a bunch of different things, and we have brothers from around the country and around the planet who are feeding us information. Hey, this is going on here. This is going on there. Hey, check this out. This is coming. This thing just happened over here, right? And for some of us content creators, we're texting and calling each other. Hey, did you see this? Did you? I'm gonna send you this. Da, 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 right? And so we're in the know. Not only are we in the know, we have military brothers, we have people who are in law enforcement. So it's not just the information, it's what the information implies and suggests. But when you don't care, and okay, fine, you don't care, that's none of your business. It is your business, but fine, it's none of your business. You don't care, and you are in a home of other uninformed people who could care less. How in the hell is this supposed to work for you? It was the G7. Yeah, thank you, Revelot. It was the G7. It was the G7. It was the G7. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was the G7. Right. So, how is this supposed to work for you? Right. If it's you and your mama them and your auntie them and your cousins them and it's none but women, y'all never have news on. If you do, you got a little CNN, BS, or Fox News. Y'all don't watch your Fox News. Let's be clear. CNN or MSNBC, and that's all once in a while, if even. You don't know. You don't know. So nobody knows and no one cares. Huh? And this is supposed to work for you? Ah, right? Detro says they're watching TMZ for real. For real. Actually, if they are watching anything, yeah, it's celebrity gossip and news. Mainly black celebrity gossip and news, but celebrity gossip and news. So they watching Lovely T and who else, whatever other female content creators on YouTube. Um, we're living in the modern era, so they could just play the YouTube right on their TV. So they watching that. Oh, and then, you know what? I'll give women this. They're watching those How I Got Away with Murder type joints on YouTube. They're watching the stalker killer joints on YouTube, and yeah, that's what they're doing, right? Celebrity gossip stuff and that. So there you go. 106,000 jobs in a month. 106,000 jobs in a month. 300 and some odd thousand jobs in the past few months.
Black
Yikes.
women, they are doing the same thing to us that they did to black men 40 years ago, which is pushing us out of the workforce. That's what they did to black men. And that is what caused the major divide within our community with regards to the gender wars. We saw black men the way they wanted us to see them because they didn't have the upward mobility that we had because of our jobs that we were able to get in the federal government. For one, the federal government was one of the biggest job employers for black women, and they're pushing us out left and right. We lost more jobs last month than any other demographic, and those jobs are not coming back. And if they come back, they're not going to give them to us. I don't care what degree you got. Because you can see right now, they don't care nothing about those degrees. As soon as we started getting it, they ain't mean anything anymore. I say this to say, we going to have to work with black men. Whatever grief you got with black men, get over it. It's time for us to work together. We need them and they need us, and this is just more proof of that.
And Indigo says the spiritual word and the shade room. That's what they're doing, right? That's what they're doing. When they're on social media, they're on accounts like that, right? Yikes. Well, there's a cost to that, ladies. There is a cost to that. Yikes. Right? So I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. I wanted to just hit y'all with some random stuff. That's why there wasn't too much of a link, but it's a little heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking. Like, for any of us who have ever lost a job, right? Yeah, it's heartbreaking. And it's not just this one. There was another one of a and shout out to Accountable Commentary. Heartbreaking. I'm hoping they have a network. I'm almost certain they don't have a man though. But hey, but stuff like this.
I feel like it is hard because I wish I was given the chance to show how dedicated I am to this position because I love it and I get that there can be a miscommunication, especially being remote. But I mean, I've loved my job. I've represented to the best of my ability. I have so many great relationships within the Walmarts in Dallas, and I know that'll be hard that they won't see my face because, I text them, I call them, we're really cool. And I feel like moving forward for the other people on the team, I think they deserve some one-on-one meetings and maybe more expectations set so that they don't overthink and they feel more comfortable within their position.
Mom and I appreciate all you've done, and we'll have to probably end the call here, but please reach out to Amanda, probably is your best contact going forward for any of that information, and she'll probably send over a note to you later today with kind of all the details. So, all right, thanks, Kat.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And Jay everything says Brad fire her, and she smiled. That was a fake smile as a mug, bruh. If you notice, she started cracking before they even ended. When she said thank you, she was already cracking. She damn there was crying. She was holding back, and it's the God. I should have played the other one, man. There's another one with the heavier set sister, darker skin, and the tears was coming down. She was holding it. She was looking away from the screen. She was fiddling with something, and yeah, man. Ah, Detroit, why you Detroit? You almost made me go full on Haitian. Why you look? And Detroit says, and she recorded that. Look, the women are gonna record themselves, bro. There is never not a time for attention. Whether it's DV, whether they getting fired, whether they just got in an accident, it is never not a time to record this thing, not for evidence, but for attention. Huh? It's never not a time for my 5 seconds of fame, right? Of course she recorded it and then posted it on the internet. Of course she did. Huh? Man. But yeah, she holding back tears, y'all. Holding back tears. That's heartbreaking. But there's a cost, dear ladies. Right? I wonder if she was part of this brigade.
To be honest, I don't want to date someone that's below me. Facts. I don't. I'm going to be completely honest.
That's okay.
And I think that's something that's pushed on Black women a lot.
Yes, it is.
To date under. And I think we always operate in extremes.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be extreme. Just because I'm not going to date a McDonald's worker doesn't mean that I have to date a CEO.
Before I say what I'm about to
say. And once again, shout out to our brother. Hey, ladies, you don't have to date beneath your station. We get it. We get it. You do not have to date beneath your station. No one is telling you to date beneath your station. Enjoy your life. Appreciate that the men agree with you. You should not be told or forced or encouraged to date beneath your station. And likewise, the men are saying that we shouldn't be told or forced or encouraged to date beneath our station. And our station has a lot to do with physique and maybe skin tone. See the color, see the supposed colors dudes just entered the chat. Ooh, goddamn. Yeah, now what? Uh-oh. All those quote unquote fat phobic dudes, yeah, they just entered the chat too. Uh-oh. Yeah, about that. Just saying. Huh? Sounds nice, sounds empowering, and then we put it to the test, and then the men start saying what they don't find attractive, and then y'all start sounding, well, how do they start sounding, Z?
Fair. That is not fair! That is not fair!
Once the men start saying, you know what? My standards matter too. My opinions matter too. Huh? Or when the white girl starts sounding like this or moving like
Jag
this.
kan få ditt telefonnummer.
Absolut.
Ah, tack. 73.
591.
Vad heter du? Landry.
Jag har hört hela mitt liv.
Then the white girls start moving like that. Huh? The white girls start moving like that, and then y'all start sounding like this again.
Fair. That is not fair! That is not fair!
Huh? Yikes. Man. And Ray says, I'm tired, granddad. I got you, right? You saying that's black men right now? That's black men after black women are saying that's not fair, and then we start sounding like this.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad!
And they hate meme culture. Oh, these women are, especially black women, they hate. I might actually do a stream about that meme culture and how the women are saying these memes are making things viral, and like the quote unquote misogyny and sexism it's able to spread really quickly because of the memes, and they're blaming a lot of that on quote unquote manosphere culture and manosphere spaces. And obviously, you know, for black women, the world ends and begins with black manosphere. The worst thing ever to happen to the internet, right? So yeah. So on that note, y'all, and it goes says, make better memes. They, you know, I think that'd be. Is your average woman funny? Ooh, goddamn, Z. Ooh. Or is it just gonna come off as some spiteful mess? Huh? You ever joke with someone and you're funnier, and then they start trying to hit below the belt? It's you know what it is? It's Jay-Z super ugly after Nas's Ether. It's just like, bro, this is not even your mom got to tell you to relax, bro. This is not even okay. Like now you over here telling like the thing is the women wouldn't be funny or just come off spiteful and just angry and it won't even hit, right? There you go. I'm not saying there are not funny women. I'm not saying there are not women that could create some super funny meme. They highlight your tape line, or they highlight whatever you got between your teeth, or they highlight, hey, this dude got a neck beard, and you don't even, let's be clear. There's gonna be women that's gonna be funny, but for the most part, they're not. It's just gonna come off spiteful. And men are built for this because we play the dozens. Particularly black men. Black women don't want to start that war. So of course they're talking about meme culture because we're quicker with it and funnier. No? And what they don't appreciate, and this is black women in particular, this is going to be their most difficult thing to appreciate. Your mothers and your grandmothers already salt the earth. I said it before, y'all shot all y'all nukes already. Like that's what you don't appreciate that. So the reason why it's more difficult for attraction, and shout out to FD Signifier, like he said, you're attempting to normalize something that people don't want. The women don't want what you're talking about. The masses of women, the only thing y'all got going for y'all is y'all not telling them exactly what it's going to cost them. Y'all get them on the spite black men thing, make fun of black men thing, mock black men thing, question black men's masculinity thing, right? Y'all get them on that, but y'all never tell them what that's going to cost them. Y'all never do. Whether that's men like FD, whether it's women like Kim Foster, y'all don't tell them women what it's going to cost them. Huh? Man. Huh? So on that note, y'all already said on that note like twice already. No, truly. We'll pause right here. I just want to bring this to y'all. And kind of do a random thing. I definitely if anybody can find, and shout out to Destro, the clip that Destro has on his channel with the lady from Hinge saying "Don't die alone." Yeah, shout out to Destro. That I'll look for it myself too, obviously. But yeah, no, shout out to Destro for that, because that, when you're, I don't think people appreciate when people like this are talking. They may not just be saying this for some little shallow ass reason that you think. And let's end out on this. If what women in the West are saying, for in our case, black women in specific, if they're saying, F your trade war with China, we don't care, we ain't having your kids, we're not doing these things, we just refuse. Go ahead and let us go. Go ahead and fire us, right? We don't care. We ain't doing nothing. All right, then eat the consequences. If you, we're not gonna have these little cocks in the wheel. We ain't gonna have your babies. We not gonna. All right, ladies. Right? Yikes. And Destro says, did Doc play it? Play it the other day? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Dr. Thunder played it, but yeah, I haven't saved, but I have Destro's covering of it. I have that saved, but I gotta find the original because I actually want to use that a bit more often, because I think it says yeah. It's rough. It's rough. And Detroit says China rubbed their hands like Birdman. Yeah, they going through it too though. That's quite trade war. Yeah, they going through it also. Right. So like quiet as kept. It ain't no peak. There ain't no walk in the park in China right now. Also, with that said, black women, y'all gonna have to feel this. Y'all were too enthusiastic to be to be the mascot. Yeah, that's the word. The mascot for antagonistic feminism. And JD Vance is a heartbeat away from presidency right now. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, anyway, industrial, give me a second before we do that. And like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, hit the thank you button for the replay squad. I covered that. What did I cover that? Yeah. I covered a section of that. No, she was doing an interview. I'll find it. Don't worry about it. I'll find it. Well, I'll try to find it. I'll find it. But she was on a news network or a news station, the one I'm referring to. Yeah. Yep. Detroit said, yep, China lay off thousands of Chinese workers. Yeah, I mean, people got to streamline now. So, hey, it's real. It's real out here. It's real. I don't want to be one of those folks that's gonna say like, hey, everything is great in China and America's falling apart because this trade war and this what's going on, and you see the Chinese are doing everything right, and then what happens with this, and you saw it with the Soviet Union and the US, is all of your long held beliefs, all of your theories, your common narratives get put to the test. Because it's not just about economy versus economy. What stories do you tell each other? what's the myths of your nation? And all that get put to the test, right? So that's why Francis Fukuyama, I would argue that's one of the reasons why Francis Fukuyama said the end of history when the Soviet Union fell, because he wasn't saying it's literally the end of history. What he's saying is like neoliberal capitalism won, and like for the foreseeable future, if not indefinitely, this is the way to go, right? And so right now between China and America, is your economic structure, is the stories you tell yourself, the stories you tell your nation, the myths, the yeah, the stories, is it all it's cracked up to be? The narratives, the the way you've organized your society, have you let it atrophy? Could you tinker? Could you work on a few things? And I think when you're being challenged by a competitor who's good enough, you're going to have to step up in a way where when you don't have a competitor, or when you don't have a competitor that's good enough, you don't have to, right? What's going on, Toya? Right? You don't have to. And what I'm saying is America is in it right now with China. And so I think we're going to see things change. Not even I think, we're going to see things change, because it's too easy for China to say, well, they're going to hold in your armor right there. They're going to hold in your armor right there. They're going to hold in your armor right there. They're going to hold in your armor right there. Right? And vice versa. Right? And America has had roughly 30 years without a near peer competitor. Right? So, and the difference between the Soviet Union and China is that the Soviet Union did not have the economy, it did not have the amount of people, right? Yeah, there's a number of things it didn't have. That's different for China, and China learned from the Soviet Union mistake. It's going to be a whole lot more difficult this time around, right? Yikes. So, all right, yo. Look, Mr. Z done said it multiple times, but we're truly going to pause right here. Love, Piece of Chicken Grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. For the love of God, Toya, you came in right when I'm ending. And y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all.